The fighting type is without a doubt a fan favorite. Look through all of them and I guarantee you'll find at least one you're a fan of. 90% of them are strong physical attackers that will test even the strongest physical walls, with the average attack stat being 108, which is the highest of any type. Now imagine how much higher this power goes with Mega Evolution. Now imagine how powerful they become with multiple abilities boosting them up. In Emerald Redux, there are currently 13 Mega Evolutions with the fighting type. I've already covered Infernape, Breloom, and the Hitmon family in other videos, so today I'll be going over the other 8, starting with the worst and ending with the best. Let's get right into the list. Starting with the worst, Heracross, the rare Pokemon from the Johto region, the first ever bug fighting type, and was always fun to use. One of my favorites to use in playthroughs, but honestly, I've never really used its Mega form. I kinda forget it exists. I remember it had some uses, but it was never really that amazing. 185 in attack though is sure to strike fear into many foes. Its speed is lacking, but it has decent bulk and will threaten anything as a wall breaker. Its power is raised higher with the Mighty Horn ability, boosting its horn and drill based moves by 30%, which includes Stab, Mega Horn, as well as Fighting Spirit, making normal moves fighting and giving them a 10% boost in power. This makes Horn Attack viable using both abilities. To help it on the defensive side, it gets Battle Armor to block crits and reduce damage by 20%, and Shield Dust to prevent secondary effects and entry hazard damage. Couldn't see much use in trying to invest in its speed. Making sure it can survive more hits to unleash all of its power is where it has its value. It's not really the best use for a Mega at the end of the day though. It can get one or two things out of the way, but it isn't going to last very long. Medicham was nothing but an average to below average fighting type with a cool fighting psychic type combo, but it only has a 60 in attack. It's not very fast and not very bulky, so how is this viable after the 3rd gym? Well, it was given Pure Power, a randomizer's favorite ability. Pure Power, like Huge Power, doubles its attack, so that base 60 isn't so bad, but it still wasn't very good. That's why giving it a Mega Evolution was the perfect solution, raising its attack up to 100 as well as its speed. It also gets to keep its Pure Power ability, making its attack power one of the highest in the game. Paired with 3 additional attack boosting abilities, it becomes a sneaky threat. Psychic Mind to boost its stab psychic moves by 25%, Striker to boost its kicking moves by 30%, and to me, one of its most important abilities, Technician, raising the power of its lower powered moves by 50%. I think running Mega Medicham without Fake Out is a mistake. With a speed stat like 100, you're going to need some priority to make sure it can use its great attack. It also gets Bullet Punch, which is a really nice move with a Technician boost. Sweepers with weaker defenses will struggle to stay alive, taking such big hits. The power of its Fake Out is very underrated and offers a ton of support, and don't sleep on the Bullet Punch combo with it. Machamp is the only new Mega on this list. Its design is from its sweet looking Gigantamax form. Its punches are anything but sweet though, as it now has the power that fits its design. Now rocking 170 in base attack and bumps to its speed and defense, it can compete with the other powerhouses of Emerald Redux. It makes great use of its fists with its Iron Fist ability, sharpening those punch moves as well as adding Raging Boxer so they hit twice. Its newfound bulk helps it take advantage of its Anger Point ability, so each time it gets hit, its attack is raised by 1. It still doesn't need to worry about Dynamic Punch missing as it gets no guard, giving all of its moves perfect accuracy. Even though its speed isn't that great, it has priority punching moves like Mach Punch and Bullet Punch. This can allow instant damage to opponents and will take out weakened foes in a lot of situations. For more powerful options, Close Combat and Flare Blitz can destroy many opponents. It's very similar to Heracross, but I see it as slightly better given its priority moves. It certainly isn't the greatest fighter, but it can be great muscle to have on the right team. Lopunny, one of the hottest piles of garbage from the Sinnoh region. I mean, it's so hot that my man Flint thought it was a fire type. It was only ever useful as a support option with Switcheroo and Baton Pass, which is why I thought its Mega Evolution was pretty unexpected. A fast and powerful fighting type capable of killing Ghost with its stab moves thanks to its scrappy ability. 135 is an excellent speed tier, and 136 is a very respectable attack stat. Its stats in this game has been modified slightly, lowering its defense, but I believe this was for balance as it has a defensive ability. Fur Coat is like the defensive equivalent to Pure Power, cutting contact damage in half. Scrappy will allow it to hit Ghost, and Limber to prevent paralysis. It also takes 50% from recoil. Like many of the other fighting megas, it gets Striker to boost kicking moves. Now the obvious move to run here is High Jump Kick, as it's ridiculously powerful, and the risk is lessened due to crash damage being reduced. It also gets Triple Axle for some good coverage. Stab Fake Out is always appreciated in this game, and it's very similar to Medicham in its role, and it's honestly just a better version of it. Lucario has been a fan favorite since before it even debuted in Diamond and Pearl. It was only fitting that this was the first Mega Evolution many of us have ever used, and until Oras was falsely believed to be the first ever Mega. Either way, it was insanely powerful and might be the greatest gift Pokemon in the history of the games. It carried me in my original X and Y playthrough. It wasn't long before it was banned to Ubers. Its stats are crazy and is a mixed attacker with 145 and 140 in attack and special attack respectively. So how disgusting is it now with multiple buffs? Well, if you thought maybe they took away its adaptability, you're wrong. Its stab is boosted by 50% to 100%. It gets inner focus so it can't be flinched, and it gives 90% accurate to its focus blast. And fatal precision, meaning its super effective moves can't miss and do 20% more damage. Lastly, it gets fighting spirit, which changes its normal moves to stab fighting moves and gives them a 10% boost. It has adaptability boosted extreme speed. It really doesn't need much else. I mean, it gets bullet punch too if a ghost gets in the way, and a swords dance is basically an automatic win button. Priority moves are just too good in this game, and Lucario is a threat waiting to be stopped. In Generation 5, they gave Blaziken its hidden ability speed boost, and it was elevated to Ubers. Many would say it's broken. Not even one generation later, they decided to give it a Mega Evolution and allowed it to keep its overpowered ability. And surprise, surprise, they created a monster. 116 attack, and after about 2 turns, will outspeed everything. Even has 130 in special attack, so you can't be sure what it's running until it's too late. Its abilities in this game definitely lean more into its physical power. Of course, it keeps its speed boost ability, but now it gets the upgraded version of Blaze, Hellblaze, boosting fire moves by 30% and 80% when at 33% HP. Iron Fist will increase its punching moves by 30%, and Striker boosting its kicking moves by 30%. It can come at you any way at once. Its move pool is scary with all these boosts and moves like High Jump Kick, Blaze Kick, now with perfect accuracy, Sky Uppercut, and Seismic Fist, which with Iron Fist is a better Earthquake. It can lack power at times, but if it manages to get a Swords Dance off, the combination of speed and power make it unstoppable. The glow up for Mega Gallade is crazy. Someone at the Emerald Redux headquarters saw the potential in this Mega and made it into a beast. Starting with the stat bumps, speed, special attack, and special defense have all been raised slightly. It's actually surprisingly bulky, and 135 is a good attack, but in the base games it was 165, so what gives? 2 words: Intrepid Sword. Zacian's signature ability, which will raise Mega Gallade's attack by 1 stage on entry. This wasn't enough for Gallade as it gets Keen Edge boosting slash moves by 30% and has a lot of great moves to use with this. Add Fatal Precision with this and it's very good at taking out a plethora of Pokemon. It can't even be cheesed with Fake Out as it has inner focus, preventing it from flinching. And as an added bonus, Focus Blast is 90% accurate, so you could run a surprise special attacking variant. Its moves are just so good, and taking out first before it strikes is the best way to stop it from destroying your whole team. Stab slashing moves like Sacred Sword and Psycho Cut are great options, as well as Night Slash, Leaf Blade, and the new Steel slashing move, Excalibur. 120 base power and super effective on dragons. It also has a raised crit rate. Mega Gallade is overall just a really solid option to have on your team and can get you out of many situations. Mewtwo has always been one of the most powerful and iconic Pokemon of all time. It has never struggled and has always been in Ubers. So it desperately needed a Mega Evolution? Well, it actually got 2 of them. A special attacking version that looks like Mega Mew and the physical attacking Fighting type. Both are ridiculously powerful, but for now, let's focus on the fighting variant. With an unfathomable 190 attack and 130 speed, what more can be added to this? Its ability, Opportunist, will give all of its moves priority if the foe is under 50% HP. Not much is living from this range. The rare ability Psychic Mind boosting psychic moves by 25%, and Raging Boxer allowing punching moves to hit twice and giving those moves a second chance for secondary effects. And to ensure it kills, Fatal Precision. Super effective moves won't miss and are 20% stronger. Mewtwo gets access to basically every move, so coverage is crazy. Whatever you want to run will work. I mean, what do you expect from a Pokemon with 780 base stat total? The good thing is it's not super bulky, so it can be taken out before it strikes, but most of the time it's taking out multiple Pokemon before it's stopped. And that is what makes it the best fighting type Mega Evolution. Those are my rankings of the remaining 8 fighting type Mega Evolutions. A lot of them are very similar how they work, but they're all good for at least something. Let me know what you think of my rankings and if I missed anything. If you have any other topics you'd like to see me talk about, comment down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.